Hey everyone, Genome here, coming at you with the next chess game analysis of mine. I picked this one because it was kind of a short one, and and I only had one blunder in there. Amazing. I usually have at least one per game. Upon analysis, yes, I probably could have lost the game because of this one, but it looked natural at the time, so maybe I can walk through it. I was going to show a game not too long before this where the same guy beat me in like 14 moves. He just destroyed me. It's really interesting because it's the entire diagonal on like the B all the way to the H on the white squares was completely filled with his pieces. So that was kind of an interesting one. But I went in and chose this one mostly because of its brevity, and maybe I can just go through why I think my stuff might have worked in a perfect world, but not against a perfect opponent. So let's go ahead and get started. So it's just standard opening. Movement, develop pieces, 2 knights out. He's got both his minor pieces out. Let's continue to develop. Standard move. This one's a little premature because there's no real pin here. I probably had already planned on dropping it back, but let's see. Okay, that's an excellent square for the knight as a little outpost. So he would be well advised to bump it out of there because that's a huge monster knight controlling tons of squares. Now he does have a pretty easy out though with the knight. I'm sure he develops the knight next, to challenge it. So I think in this case I probably just take here. Now there is a pin on this knight. That's one of the reasons I chose this to take with there. But it's fixed as soon as he takes back, so no big deal there. But let's see what else I do next. Okay, just shoring up the center a little bit. I do have a weak C pawn here because his bishop's bearing down on it. Yeah, this is going to be an excellent outpost for him, and if he did move that, I would just take it, I'm sure, with the knight. Okay, there's a pinning move right there. It's defended by knight. Queen is basically pinned, so he's got to block with the pawn. Yep. Now this is kind of a centralizing move for the bishop. Controls a lot of real estate, but it also takes the pressure off this pawn and basically puts it to this bishop right here, seeing what he wants to do with it. I'm guessing he's going to take. Nope. Okay, so you did put it on the outpost. So we traded monster knights, so I'm probably going to trade my knight for that one. Nope. Okay, first it's kind of an in-between move. Just consolidating a bit. His bishop's better than mine here. I got nothing really going on with his bishop, so I think it definitely behooves me to remove that from the equation because look how much real estate he's covering here. Much better bishop than mine. So kind of in between move. He doesn't have to retake here, but I'm sure he will. Yep. Now that's also a good move for the queen because it's covering a lot of real estate, but I'd much rather have the queen right there than I would that bishop. Alright, so okay, what was my rationale here? I think I wanted to start. Oh, you know what? I was probably going to push queen to f4 here. Make sure he can't castle queenside. And it also has the advantage of getting the queen over, if he just castle kingside, to go ahead and get it toward that side of the board. That's probably what I'm thinking here. Instead just to take with the bishop. Not sure if I like that, but it's probably the best. Okay, castles. I say it's an inaccuracy, but it gets. I mean, you're supposed to castle, generally speaking. I didn't have really any pressure on the center, but you can get in so much trouble, and I get most of my games I get in trouble in is when I castle too late. This move is asking for the queen. Basically, just puts pressure on the pawn, and you can't really move anything. You'd have to defend it with the rook here, because if I move that forward to defend it, then he just takes the free knight. So, okay, if I get rid of that monster knight of his. Okay, so blunder, huh? It says d takes on e4. It's bad. So it wants to take the pawn, and it would, it really wouldn't pick up a piece because I have a queen defending here as well. That might have been another reason I moved it there to shore up defense of the e4 square. since it was attacked a few times. But okay, once again, he's wanting to get his queen to the game. He does throw a check at me here, so I gotta be a little bit careful. But I don't think there's anything attack-wise that's there yet, so just block with the knight. Okay, now he takes and gobbles up the pawn. Now I gotta be here. Here's where I make the blunder according to the computer. I do have to be a little bit careful here, because he's gonna start gobbling up everything on the back row here. If I'm not careful, I'll have to drop the queen back here for some defense. Probably the best move. Okay, so I do castle here. This does connect the rooks. See, I don't really care about these pawns over here at this point. I think I'm going to start attacking on the queen or on the king side over here. But yeah, it says it's a blunder. Now, what it tells you to do is if the bishop takes here, you can't retake. So basically, he had a free piece right here because if you retake with a pawn, the queen takes knight. So then I'm being a world of hurt back here, but I still think I'd be okay. I'd be protected somewhat, but he does have this. I'd have to move the rooks around a little bit because of the pressure he would have on this diagonal here. And so it'd be a little bit soft, but I think I could probably hold it. Just play h3, make a little wiggle room. Because he doesn't have a dark square bishop anymore, so I could probably escape out the king, but I would have lost a piece here. Okay, so yep, consolidate down. See, I can't take because of that. He saw that. So this basically defends as much as I can. He probably should take with the bishop there. Okay, no, it's with the queen is the best. So now he is attacking my knight and infiltrating very nicely, so I have to be careful. Rook to b7 is kind of nice because it cuts off the 7th rank, but he's already got the f pawn there, so not nearly as good. And I do not need to get my pieces away from the defense of the king right now. So just defending the knight, because I do plan on moving it. Okay, gobbling up some pawns. Just harassing the queen a little bit. Rook b to c1 is better, he said. So it wants it meet over here. See, I'm not real crazy about that either, but it does get it off the light square. The key is to watch out for the light squares right here, of course. But I mean, there's nothing to do with the rook here at this point. So I don't know if it's trying to trap him on different ranks here. I don't know, but I don't think it would happen. There's way too much coverage. So, okay, centralize. Okay, so now I'm wanting to get my knight into the... I need to get an attack going. And plus this kind of protects the king a little bit in case something weird happens to one of my rooks. Once again, they can be harassed fairly easily right here. But I should keep on dark squares. I probably should have put this over here. That's probably why it's telling me the c1 move. But let's go. Okay, now he's kind of trying to harass the queen a little bit. That's fine. Centralizing move with the queen. I mean, there's nothing really back here because the rooks are connected. There's nothing really in the back rank that I can work with. But if things are freed up, I could get back there and maybe cause a little havoc. But that's not the real reason for this. Okay, so it's wanting to push A, basically just a kind of a waiting move. All right, so now once again, I'm gonna get the knight into the game here. Okay, he's kind of retreating back and defending a bit. I guess, yeah, it's a pretty good move. Of course, in the computer said it was best, so that's good. So now, since I've decided to move the attack, I get the attack going. It's good to get this pawn up here and going. Plus, it's actually backed up by the knight, which is nice. It's also backed up by the queen somewhat. So, time to start pushing this bad boy. I think I'm going to do it for a couple moves in a row. This is probably way too slow. What was it saying? H6? Yeah, H6 would probably definitely be better. This doesn't really do anything right now. And I'm going to keep marching this pawn. Yep, so now he's forced to move his bishop here. Okay, attacks one of my rooks. I may ignore this. I can't remember. Let's see. Yeah, ignored it. So basically, he cannot afford to take that rook. Because if he does, well, it's just bad. But I mean, what's going to happen is if he does try to take that rook, I'm probably going to move the queen over. And if he pushes g6 to stop that, the mate that would be happening there, then I have mate over here that he can't get away from. by queen to f6, guarded by the pawn. So he's probably best. See, it's wanting me to move. It's trying to save material, and I'm going for a win here. I don't understand what it's looking for here. There might be an out here I'm not seeing, but it's probably by taking the pawn. But okay, that's a huge mistake. Now it's saying there's a missed win here. So what's it saying to do? Queen f6, queen takes on d4. See, I don't like this. It's just basically having him sacrifice his pieces. So there's not really, I don't see where his win is here. Queen. Yeah, I don't see what win it's talking about. I guess I could go through it. Oh, okay, it's wanting him to clear out. Yeah, I see what it's wanting. All right, so anyway. So let's go forward. So yeah, that was a big blunder. Now mate's basically unavoidable. I don't see really a way out from there. And then it's just resign. Let me go back to what was it? Let's see. I always forget how to make it when it's suggested. Okay, so it's wanting take the rook, and it's wanting me the pawn here. Basically, it's going to want to sack a piece. To help keep him alive. And there is a little bit of back rank problems, but nothing that king to the next rank wouldn't fix. But there is a rook back here hanging, and I'm getting pretty low on material. This basically is going to just stay there and protect his king for a while. And he can start pushing f if he really wanted to, with the rook behind it, unless I just took. Queen would check. Yeah, there is an escape here, and actually I think I'd be too low material to keep up, so I see what now I wanted him to take the rook over there in hopes that I got greedy, but I don't think I would have made this move. Yeah, I probably still would have. Well, no, not really, because I would have just moved knight up to h5 and then gone for checkmate that way. But he probably could have, yeah, f6. No, that wouldn't have done. Yeah, I would have, because he could have defended with the rook. So yeah, I see why now it's wanting him to take the bishop. So sorry if that was a little confusing. I was sitting there kind of half explaining it, but so that's the game. It's just kind of a fun one, and I like to push pawns. Sometimes it behooves you to do so. People don't realize how dangerous pawns can be, especially on the edges when they're uncontested like that. And I think at this point I was just like, take my material if you want. I did not see the sequence of events it was talking about at first. But I was just going for a quick win. And sometimes, you quit paying attention to that sort of thing. You panic and make a bad move. I made plenty in my time. So, yeah. So there it is. So anyway, if you want to see more of these, just let me know. But I'm going to be showing some losses here in the not too near future. So enjoy. Until next time. This is Genome. Really hoping he can shore up his own game. Out.